In this video, I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about details. Specifically, packaging details that can help improve not just the unboxing experience, but the overall impression of the relative quality of a product. What do I mean by that? Last week, I bought two different products, neither of which were expensive compared to similar products in their respective categories. However, one product features such terrific packaging and attention to detail that it inspired me to want to make this video. And to be clear, I've never done an unboxing video before. The other product was this laser level. And while I suppose there's nothing inherently wrong with the packaging, it just feels fairly pedestrian. And maybe that's fine. After all, it is just a level. Still, I feel like they could have leaned in a little more and maybe had some fun with the packaging and branding, rather than just including the name of the product and a couple of checkboxes to distinguish red from green. By contrast, the other product I bought is this, the Hollyland Lark Max wireless lavalier mic kit. Now, the wireless mic space is actually pretty crowded, and if you search for best wireless lav on YouTube, you're likely to see names like Sennheiser, Rode, and DJI. There are others like Deity and Anker, but those three are the biggies. However, when I started looking for mics for myself, I kept seeing the name Hollyland pop up, specifically the Lark Max. In fact, it's because of Curtis Judd's review of the Lark Max that I ended up buying them. I'll put a link to Curtis's video in the description for those of you looking for specs and audio samples, because this isn't about the mics themselves. This is just about the packaging. The first thing you'll notice is that this is not the same thin corrugated style of brown cardboard that the laser came in. Instead, it's a thick solid cardboard that's been wrapped in a black satin finished paper. It's got a color product shot, and they've even overprinted the logo with a glossy spot varnish. The other thing you'll notice is that the box uses a magnetic flap, which acts as a bit of foreshadowing and is similar to the box for my Fuji X Pro 1. I think it's a terrific detail, and certainly helps the unboxing feel more refined and less clumsy than either a tuck-in or a glued flap design, neither of which I can seem to open without partially destroying the box. Inside, the first thing we see is a slim folio-style matte black box that contains the user manual and warranty information. This is a really nice touch because most manuals are either in some sort of clear plastic bag or just loosely placed in the main box. Underneath the manuals is the main carry case, which is set into a surround of dense black foam. And the reason I love this is that not only does it add a little more protection, aesthetically, the gap and the difference in texture between the box and the case creates a nice frame effect that really highlights the product. The carry case itself is a soft rubber with a slight diagonal groove texture and an understated embossed Hollyland logo on the top. The fact that they didn't feel the need to make the logo larger, or worse, make it white, is a nice touch. Less is more, and they obviously know it. They even thought about the zipper, choosing to use what looks to be a waterproof zipper similar to a YKK zipper that you would typically find on outerwear like a parka. Opening up the case, we see the zippered top pouch that contains the cables, adapters, and the two foam windscreens. In the bottom of the case is the charge case that contains the mics and the transmitter, but between them is another really great little detail. It's a padded flap that keeps the zipper from rubbing against the case and just helps to hold the charge case in place. Again, it shows that they were putting thought into not just the product itself, which helps elevate the overall unboxing experience and makes this feel like a much more premium product than the price would suggest. And finally, here's the charge case that holds the mics and the transmitter. It sits in a fabric-covered rigid insert that not only gives it a little more protection, but just like with the carry case in the box, the gap and the textural difference between the charge case and the insert really puts the focus on the product. There are little dimples on either side of the insert that allow you to get the charge case out a little easier. As for the case itself, it's got a nice soft touch coating and a subtle embossed Hollyland logo on the front. I love that they just went with the logo here and decided not to include the Hollyland name. It's cleaner, and I think the logo is strong enough by itself. The lid is magnetic, which was sort of teased in the main box, and inside are two transmitters and a receiver. As you can see, opening the case activates the small LED power meter on the front so you can see how much charge you have left. As for the mics themselves, I love the overall design. They're very small, and yet they feel solid. The soft matte finish, squared off edges, and perforated metal grille, which is still hidden under the protective film, gives them kind of an industrial feel, which I really like. I don't even mind the embossed Hollyland branding on the front. I know for some of you who are shooting video, any sort of branding, especially when it's white, can be a problem. But since I'm just using them for audio, it's not an issue. And even if I end up shooting video at some point, it's a simple fix with a piece of gaffer tape. So there you have it. A look at some of my favorite packaging details on the Hollyland Lark Max mic kit. Even though this was my first unboxing video, I had a lot of fun putting it together, and I think I'd like to do more of them. I'd love to hear from you in the comments, and be sure to check the description for links, including a link to Curtis Judd's review, which, as I said, is really what sold me on this kit in the first place. Thanks very much for watching.